Hello everyone, this is ACHAIAKaya, and we are in game number 2 of the Revan versus JCho matchup. And this is the last game that I'll be casting of the round of 32, and then I will be moving on to the round of 16. So definitely keep your eyes out for those matches coming up here very soon. I'm hoping to get as much of this tournament uploaded by and throughout the weekend as possible, so hopefully everything will be up as of the end of day on Sunday. I can't promise anything though, because this stuff takes a lot of time to put together, so I do apologize for the amount of time that it's taking to get these up, but like I said, it's a lengthy process, so I am doing my best. But anyways, we're going to get this game underway right now. Game 2, it looks like, is going to be on Kulas Ravine, and in the lower left here we have Revan spawning as the red Terran, and in the lower right we have JCho as the blue Protoss. So both players spawning at the bottom half of the map, and of course this is a 4-player map, so scouting a little bit earlier so you can find out exactly where your opponent is that much more important. And it looks like JCho going to be using that chrono boost on his probes at the beginning, which is very important for getting your economy jump started. And both players sending out those early scouts, trying to find out exactly where the other is located. And they just barely missed crossing past there. And JCho is going to go the right direction on his first attempt, as it looks like Revan is going to move up to the wrong base here. And if he continues to scout in a clockwise position here, he's going to find JCho's base last. So he will be in the dark as to exactly what his tech is for a little while. And I'm not sure why Revan didn't put his second barrack, or his first barracks rather, up at the entrance to his base, because if you put that barracks down at this entrance, it only takes one supply depot and one barracks to wall this entrance off. So he could have actually prevented this early scout from getting into his base and really finding out what was going on. So but anyways, going back to the base of JCho, he does have his first gateway going down right now, and he also has his first assimilator just about finished. So it looks like he is going to be opening up pretty similar to what he did last game, and of course no cheesy builds or anything like that, as Revan continues to send his SCV around the map. Now, having scouted both top positions, realizes that JCho is going to be in the lower right position, although he still has no idea what his tech tree looks like at this point. And it looks like JCho continuing to scout with this probe, so he's going to have all the intel he needs in the early game, although one Marine coming out right now probably going to force him to back out, because Marines can take down probes pretty quickly, as you can see, and barely managing to get that away with 4 hit points left. So he is going to send that probe back to his base and bring it back to mining. But finally, it looks like Revan getting over to the base of JCho. He is going to see exactly what it is he's going to be doing. And as you can see, he has laid down his cybernetics core. So seeing pretty much an exact mirror build from last game, as he did go gateway with then 2 pylons and the cyber core and the second assimilator around the same time. So this is very, very similar to what we saw from him last game. But meanwhile, in the base of Revan, it looks like he has gone for his second barracks already, although I don't see a third one. Last game, Revan decided to put up 3 barracks very early on in the game, but it doesn't seem like he's going to go with that same strategy and actually putting down a tech lab instead of going for those reactors, although here comes the third barracks. So it looks like he is going to be sticking to a similar build, although with the tech lab going down in the first barracks, I'm wondering if he's going to change it up here a little bit. No, it does look like he's going to get a reactor, so going to stick with that reactor tech lab build with the infantry, although I would definitely like to see him get to the starport tech a little bit earlier so he can get some medevacs on the map. And then of course, if JCho does indeed go for the Dark Templar tech again, having the ability to get those I'm sorry, what are those things called again? The Ravens. Revan building the Ravens. If he can get some Ravens out on the map to have mobile detection for those DTs, that would definitely be a good idea. Although it looks like he has gone for a fast robotics facility instead. So he is going to be able to build the Colossi, which absolutely dominates infantry. If you can get a few Colossi, the splash damage just takes infantry down so quickly. Although it looks like he is going to build an Immortal for the time being, and he does not yet have a robotics bay going down. But if we take a look at the income tab, we can see that once again, JCho taking a pretty significant lead, about 200 to 300 minerals per minute ahead of his opponent at this point in time. And it looks like he is going to continue to grow that lead. I'll be interested to see if he goes for the 2 high yield bases for his first expansions again, because that is indeed what he did on Steps of War. But Revan moving out here with a few Marines and 1 Marauder, 2 Marauders, and continuing to crank infantry out. And he is once again going for this 2 reactor, 1 tech lab build, although he does have a Ghost Academy up and running. So we will probably be seeing some EMP and possibly even an attempt at a nuke, which I think nukes are a lot of fun to play with, although I do not see them a whole lot in high-level gameplay just because it's still pretty difficult to get a decent nuke off, and it takes a lot of attention to detail and finding the right spot and scouting properly and everything. It just seems like one of those things that you put too much money and effort into to get too little reward out of. And they are going to run up and take out this first Immortal here very quickly, although it looks like that Immortal actually able to hold on, just barely getting taken down by that last Marine. And it looks like those Marines are going to run away since they are going to be overwhelmed by this Sentry and Stalker, although he does have more reinforcements on the way right now. But currently only Marines, no Marauders, which the Marauders are really what are so strong against these Protoss infantry units. The Stalkers, Sentries, and Zealots all take a good amount of JCho says he was getting the phone, but all those units take a good amount of damage from the Marauders, and especially when you have that concussive shell upgrade for your Marauders, it makes it very difficult for those units to run away or be microed against Marauders because it makes them so much slower. And Revan saying that he's got kids screaming in the background and a major migraine. So apparently both players not playing under the best conditions today. But we'll see if they're able to pull something out here in game number 2. Revan had a hard time expanding on the map last game. And it looks like they are going to move in here with these Marines and one Marauder to back them up again and another Immortal coming out to help out here. So I was away from my computer for the last 2 minutes. That's actually quite a long while to be away from your computer for a tournament game, but perhaps he wasn't too worried simply because he was actually had no difficulty winning that first game at all. And warping in some more Stalkers here to come help out this Immortal. They're going to clean up this infantry army with no problems at all. And the Immortal shield's barely getting taken down, making it all the way down to 0, but it looks like it did not lose any of its core HP. And some more gateways coming in right now for the Protoss player. And he does have a second robotics facility coming up, although no robotics base. So he may just be going for these mass Immortals along with his Stalkers here. But it looks like one of these Stalkers is going to go down here as the other Stalker and one Immortal try to take on this Terran infantry army, managing to whittle it down to just one Marine and one Marauder. They're going to be forced to run back to their base, although more reinforcements coming up right now, so they may turn around and fight. But meanwhile, back at the base of JCho, it looks like he is expanding at his natural this time rather than going for the high yield. And JCho frantically trying to get his last 2 units in this offensive pulled away so that he can actually keep them alive for the time being. But he is going to be warping in some more Stalkers right now. Once again, of course, getting that warp gate technology, which is so important for Protoss players to be able to keep up with their macro, because it just allows you to warp in units faster and you can choose exactly where you want to warp them in rather than having to warp them in and move them around. And a Ghost coming out right now, but the Ghost does not have a whole lot of hit points, so he needs to be very careful about where he actually puts that Ghost. And the Ghost losing about a little over half its HP before he manages to cloak it and get it away. And EMP does cost 75 energy, so he does not have enough currently to cast it on any of those units. But on the income here, you can see that Revan's still behind by a couple hundred, and he is going to dip further behind as JCho gets this expansion up and running, and the Nexus just now finishing. He's putting down a forge here as well so that he can get some cannons up to help him in defending. But if we look at the production overlay here, we can see that he is continuing to just produce these Marauders and Marines, and it looks like he is finally getting the concussive shell upgrade for his Marauders. But currently there are a lot of Stalkers on the map for JCho right now. If we look at the units overlay here, we can see that he has 9 Stalkers and 3 Immortals as these other 2 Immortals come up to join the rest of his army. So a very strong army for the Protoss player right now. And one Zealot also in the mix somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where that Zealot is right now, but he does have one Zealot on the map somewhere. But it looks like Revan, once again, not going to go for an expansion early on in the game. He is going to try to play off one base for some time here, it seems, and continuing to go with his infantry build. He does have a second factory going up right now, though, so we may see him put some factory units on the map here very shortly. And I don't see an armory yet, which would indicate that he is going to go for Thors. He may be sticking with the siege tanks, which he got last game, although a very large army from JCho moving out here, getting a few force fields down to narrow how far away these Terran units can run, but they are getting chased down by these Protoss units. Even if they manage to run all the way back to their base. Oh, and a great EMP going down taking the shields away for a lot of these Protoss units. He manages to get one Immortal down and take down both of the sentries too, but the Ghost's going to be focus fire down, and there are a lot of units left. Revan is going to GG, so it looks like JCho going to 2-0 this. He is going to move on to the round of 16. Thanks for watching the round of 32 action, guys. I will be uploading the round of 16 as soon as possible. GG.